published?
Not yet. Fucking big. Published live.
Jaws, episode 30. CrossFit. Life is more. Is that a Sunday River hat?
Yeah.
What, a disconnect?
No,
The
we're good.
charger's there if it starts to run low.
Sounds good.
Let me just pull it up in here.
It's Memorial Day weekend, ladies and gentlemen. Happy Memorial Day.
Yeah.
MDW with our boy in studio.
Oh, that guy from Garden State Ghost Hunters?
Yeah.
Commented back.
What do you say?
He just said, interesting idea.
Hey, man.
Maybe we should get out there and film. We never film. And we say we're going to film. But we never do. What the fuck?
Welcome to the official kickoff of the 2018 summer Memorial Day weekend. Case file 30, Jaws.
Thank you and have a nice day. Oh, we're going to start? You want to start?
Let's do it, babe.
All right, let's go. Got to be quiet because then we have to edit this stuff out. Do you get excited when we do podcasts?
Not as excited as you.
How excited do I get?
I got a 10-page document in front of me.
It's not 10. It's only 6. It's show notes.
The ghost loves it.
I wanted to get good information out to the people. Do you want to start us off? You could start us off on this.
BS some stuff. Play intro.
So you don't tell the people that. Where'd you get that hat from?
Sunday River.
Where is that?
Why are you fucking with me?
Why are you messing with me? All right.
I do like that shirt, though.
It is pretty. It was only what, $3-4 at
Turn that way.
at the Christmas tree shop.
Christmas tree shop.
Why'd you say Christ?
Christmas.
Christmas tree.
Keep the Christ in Christmas.
I love those stickers. I like the magnet that I put on. What was the car?
The Jesus fish?
No, I was like, I love my cat more than I love men or something.
What the fuck?
Yeah. I was putting it on everybody's locker at work too. It's funny. All right, you want to read the intro, or do you want me to read the intro this week? You feeling good about this?
I feel good.
You did zoom in on it. I should have turned a little bit more. All right, we got a new intro too.
Play it.
We'll play it after.
Okay.
You ready? All right, let's start the show.
It's Memorial Day weekend, and welcome to the official kickoff of the 2018 summer with Case File 30. The 1916 shark attacks. Jaws.
It's the real life Jaws that happened here in New Jersey, our home state. I didn't know what?
Nothing.
The movie Phone Voice?
Yeah.
I didn't know too much about this.
I always thought the movie Jaws was based off of this.
Yeah, when I was younger, I thought what was it, Cape Cod?
Yeah.
Or Amityville, wherever
Yeah,
it was.
yeah.
And they always talk about it. And I always thought
Amityville Island, yep.
Yeah,
Or Amity Island.
I always thought it was down south, by like Cape May, all that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, growing up, that's what I thought. And we did hear stories about this, but it wasn't, I don't know, you don't learn about this. Why? How come you always hear about the Jersey Devil, but then you don't hear about this?
Because the Jersey Devil is fake and this is real.
So we don't hear about real stuff, we just hear about fake stuff?
Pretty much.
Well, that's what we're here to discuss today. And we're going to play our new intro that Greg did himself. Welcome to Nightmare 365.
This is the center of weirdness for the entire planet.
There's tons of unsolved mysteries out there. The Jersey Devil, witches still exist.
What about monsters?
Do you believe in ghosts?
Bigfoot is not out there.
Bigfoot is definitely out there. UFOs are real.
UFOs might be real.
Do you believe in conspiracies?
I consider myself a conspiracy theorist.
I want to believe in all these case files.
Trust no one. The government lies to you.
We're just two brothers exploring the unexplained, mysterious, and spookiness that lives among us. My favorite part is you at the end. The government lies to us.
Why?
I don't know. I just like that clip most of all. But
so let's dive into it, man.
Let's dive right into it. No pun intended by Greg, with a Jersey 1916 shark attacks. So, to give a
Backstory.
backstory, I
Or the
love
history.
backstories. You don't love history?
I do. I'm just messing with you.
Do you like the history aspect of this?
Of the podcast or this?
Just in the topics in general.
Yeah, why not?
I always think it's a good way to clear it up for some people, because we did have a listener who said, we need a little bit more information. He was like, I didn't know too much about it until like 20 minutes in. So I was like, you know what? We're going to get to that in this episode.
That guy was pissed. A lot of hate.
Yeah,
A lot of hate mail.
Yeah, towards you.
Yep.
He was like, I don't like the Sunday River hat. I don't like Greg always wears just like the Nightmare 365 shirt. He's got to switch it up.
No.
I'm trying to switch it up.
Why
with
would I
the
switch up
jersey.
a classic?
It is a classic. And I have to order more. I was actually at the shop the other day getting in different colors, blue. Did you like the indigo color?
Yeah, it did.
Cool. We're going to get some of that. I know the Ghost. The Ghost is back in studio too. Yeah. So that's cool to have him there. But 1916, it was the hottest summer on record until 2015.
Mm-hmm.
And let's see, the shark attack that did occur was between July 1st and the 12th.
Well, there wasn't just one shark attack.
No, there was 4. Well, 5.
Technically 4 events, but
4
5 victims.
5 victims. 4 of them died.
Yep.
One of them actually did survive.
Yeah, he just lost a leg.
And I guess you can kind of stretch it until July 14th. And
Why? When they actually captured it?
Well, it depends on what you believe, which we're going to get more into
yeah.
it, talk about that. But that's kind of the thing. So it stretched from the beginning of July in 1916 to the 12th, 14th, whatever timeline you really want to go down.
Yeah, the first shark attack happened July 1st, Beach Haven, New Jersey. That's down by LBI, South Jersey.
Yeah, and the hotel that it was at, this gentleman that was staying there at the time, it was a wealthy family from Philadelphia when the first shark attack did happen. Charles Van Zant, or no, was that the second one?
No, that was the first one.
Yeah.
That was the first one.
I'm getting that confused with the second one because this one's more well known just from the, where it happened. And it's a park there now that used to be the hotel because people from Philadelphia used to come by train, hang out at the Jersey Shore because it was a hot summer.
Mm-hmm.
And what I also want to talk about too is there was a lot more going on in this time than we really imagine. It's not like entertainment today where people go to the movies, go out to dinner, do all this sorts of stuff. Just kind of a history note to it. World War I was going on. It was a polio epidemic that was happening. And also this was, I guess, the first time that there was an 8-hour work week, like labor disputes and stuff. So people had more free time.
Sure.
So they were going to the beaches a lot more too during the summer, obviously to cool down. And what I found fascinating about this time period too, it's not like you would go up and set camp on the beach and then just like wade in the water, like right off ashore.
Yeah.
People would swim like as far as they could out and then like come back, and they would have different types of races.
A lot of drownings.
Yeah.
A lot of drownings.
It's weird like to think about now because you just see people surfing, people boogie boarding or just like hanging out in the waves. Jumping around. But back then,
back then, if you think about it, there wasn't, much to do. Like, what are you going to read or listen to radio or?
Movies were coming out, during this time period. Different, types of movies that we're, used to. But
yeah, but, if you think about it, people were a lot more active back then, I think, than they are today.
Yeah, I guess a different active in a different, way.
Correct.
I mean, we're still active, we still go out to the beach. And
no, but I mean, there wasn't, cell phones or computers or TVs that got lost in, so, you had to keep yourself occupied.
But I thought that was one interesting fact of just doing research, because I didn't know much about this. I always thought it was just the one attack.
Well, I found it interesting.
Re-record. Yeah, sorry.
Okay, right?
I don't know.
The one interesting thing I found interesting about this when I did the research, the last incident in the creek.
Okay. Well, that's when I
The
started.
11-year-old kid, was he did I misread that, or was he a factory worker?
Oh, yeah, we'll talk about it. Yeah. Well, that's just what's going on in the thing. Yeah. These kids worked at a very young age. I mean, the war is going on. We're not really involved yet at this point, in 1916. But, yeah, man. You were able to work?
11 years old.
Well, just think about like the farm. You know, you had to help out. Like if you owned a
I know,
farm, we're
but
the
it's just-
Garden State here in New Jersey.
That was just funny to me.
Yeah, it's a different time. That's over 100 years ago now.
Yeah.
It's crazy. But getting back to the first event, let's talk about this. So the first attack,
Mhm.
like we were saying, July 1st, happened in Beach Haven, which is in South Jersey. And I should pull up the map because we do have a map here looking on, if you're watching on YouTube, and you can see. So we have all the way down here, right around this area.
Yeah,
I'll
Long Beach
widen-
Island.
I'll widen it out. And where the red dot, if you're watching on YouTube, you could see where Matawan Creek is, like the last couple attacks actually happened. So right around this area, the first
So, like,
attack
to
happened.
get close to Atlantic City, to give people a reference if they're not very familiar with New Jersey.
Yeah, going right across the state from to Philadelphia. You would hit Philadelphia at the same time. So that's why a lot of people from the city in Philadelphia came over to the Jersey Shore. Right now, it's about, what, an hour car ride from Philadelphia
Yeah, like
to
an
the
hour.
Jersey Shore?
Yeah, it depends.
And I always call it the beach, but a lot of people call it the shore.
The shore.
What do you call it?
Depends on where you go.
What do you mean? You didn't never have like a certain,
Down the shore, or like if we're here,
I'm just going to the beach?
going to the beach.
Yeah, it's weird to hear like people, people reference Jersey Shore and what do they think of?
The TV
Stupid
show.
show. But so
Yeah,
first
so
attack
he was swimming out, right? He was swimming in the water.
with his dog.
Yep, with his dog.
Was it his dog or
I don't know what dog.
yeah, just a random dog went in the water with him?
Hey, why not? And people thought he was calling to his dog, but in reality,
The dog started swimming back.
correct. But in reality, like the shark was biting his legs off.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. Just to think about like on a daily, you're coming from the city, like people do all the time nowadays, coming down to the shore, just hanging out, and then you're gonna go for a swim. And he wasn't that far off of the shore yet. And typically, this guy enjoyed swimming out as far as he could, and it was also to impress people. People would just watch this.
Yep.
Can you see people? I mean, people watch all different types of events today, but one of the event was just, hey, let's just hang out and watch this guy swim out as far as he can.
That's awesome.
And
So, yeah, the guy was screaming, and I guess it got the attention of the lifeguard, and the lifeguard pulled him out of the water. And when he did, basically like all of his skin, all of the muscle, all the tendons were ripped from his leg.
Yeah, when they pulled him out onto the boat, because they had a boat that went out,
Correct.
the lifeguards, there was two gentlemen that actually went out there to help him out. And yeah, I did read that account. When they were pulling him up, they said he felt so light and he's missing like half his body.
Yeah, man. And
That's-
he didn't die right away though. He died later, like
On the manager's table
yeah.
or the desk, whatever you want to call it, at Ingleside Hotel at 6:45 p.m. that night
That's crazy.
after being attacked. And yeah, just imagine this whole event, and you're standing on the beach and you saw this happen. And one thing I want to point out too.
Would you ever go in the water again?
After doing research for this show,
You don't want to go in.
It was just so like it brought back so many different memories from the time down at the beach, and just thinking about that. Even like the movie Jaws, which we're going to talk
See,
about.
that really didn't get me.
What do you mean, Jaws?
Yeah, like it never really freaked me out of going in the water. You know what movie really freaks me out of going in the water?
What?
Lake Placid.
Really? Well, we go to the lake more than
Yeah, that's why.
Yeah, I could see that, but I also think like just I guess because the water is so big,
Yeah, you don't
like
really
the
think
ocean,
about it.
and you're like, all right, what's the odds? But in a lake, you're so confined. But
That's
don't-
why you never be the farthest one out when you swim in the ocean.
that's not necessarily true.
No, but it gives me
Because
a
this
sense
was
of
the
peace.
first
though.
attack with Charles Van Zandt, was only like 50 yards off the.
50. You know how 50 yards is?
Yeah, but that's not like a mile out where people started swimming and stuff.
No, but I'm just saying you just never be the farthest one out. You're the
I-
farthest one out. You better get in.
Yeah, but
little
even
bit.
they say like shark attacks can happen in like 3 feet of water, so that's not.
Not
you know,
a 9-footer.
no, that's true.
Maybe a little baby one.
Yeah, who knows? And this was all the theories too that were now going around, because the death certificate didn't even mention. Well, it did say like a fish
Well,
attack.
they really thought it was just like a one-off freak incident after the first attack. They really never thought it was like, a shark that
No.
was going to keep doing that.
Well, also you have to put yourself in 1916, right? This is over 100 years ago, like we said, And scientists really had no understanding of sharks. They actually published a paper in, what was it, the Smithsonian paper that came out, an annual report in April of that year. So, what, a couple months before this actual shark attack happened?
Yeah.
They said sharks don't attack humans.
Sharks don't exist.
Sharks, well, they said like they don't really go near humans. They don't bother with us.
Well,
they,
yeah.
They didn't know much about it. And they also said that a shark's bite
Yeah.
cannot break through bone or like our human flesh.
Yeah, okay.
This is just a report
I
from
know, but
April of
that's-
1916.
That's retarded.
Yeah. And
Well, I have like heard that, you know, sharks don't really think of us as like food. They think we're like seals.
yeah, and they come and it's not like
Yeah.
you would come up like a dog would sniff you, first, or
Yeah.
you would reach for something to kind of get a good grasp on it and look at it. A shark is just going to bite you. That's its way of like testing it out. So that's probably why, sometimes it just bites somebody and then just that's it.
Like to me, like it bit off my legs, man. I'm just going down with it. Just kill me.
Well, I found it interesting too because in a lot of these other cases that we're going to talk about, which happened during the same attacks,
Yeah.
and I was looking up like different shark attacks, what provokes them, and stuff like that. Even sharks, the total numbers of over the years and in the United States, and it does seem, what was our last fatality was 2012.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's been updated yet, but I was looking at the different statistics of shark attacks since this time period.
Yeah.
There's been a lot, man. Look, fatal from, so this is confirmed unprovoked shark attacks from 1958 to 2014.
1,000? That's not a lot.
1,000 attacks, and there's 35 in the United States that
Yeah, but if you think about
were fatal.
over 50 years, right?
It's a long time.
I mean,
It's just
not really.
interesting.
Like, think about the amount of people that go in the water.
No, it's true, but you're not swimming out like miles like these people used to do.
But
And
even so, though.
well, it's interesting to just see the different comparisons from that time period to now what we think about sharks. There's Shark Week, everything sharks, the killer
Sharknado.
sharks. Yeah, all these different things about sharks. And before this summer, before these attacks, it was like, oh, sharks don't touch humans. Sharks can't even bite through human bone. All this other stuff. That's our GoPro we're filming. We just got to turn that off.
That thing's just going
Yeah.
nuts over there.
The ghost will turn that thing off completely. Sorry. But that's just one of those things where it just, I don't know, just hold the top button for like 3 seconds.
I don't know, but like, I'm sure like news didn't really get around, or even if like people did die of shark attacks prior to this,
Yeah.
like it really wasn't, or really, they probably didn't even know what it was.
No, it's true. And
So
I
then
don't
like
think
you
they
do more
did.
research on it,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, that's the thing, just from the scientific report that was put out, and
Yeah.
then hold on, keep it going,
I got you.
and then just talk about
So they thought it was like a one-off attack. They didn't really think it was like a man-eating shark that was gonna basically kill 4 people and injure another person. So the second attack happened not too far away from us in Spring Lake, and that actually house is still there.
which one?
The house, like if you look up like the Spring Lake photo where they show the Essex house.
Well, the Essex Hotel is not there anymore.
I know,
It's
but
a
there's
park.
but the house like looks very similar.
Right.
That's down there.
So people can visit, and I wanted it to when it's nicer out, because even though this is Memorial Day weekend, the official kickoff to summer.
I'll go in the water right now. I'll swim out.
No, you wouldn't.
Why not?
You would not.
Yeah, I would.
Should we film that? I would.
Yeah, I'll
let's
do
go
it
down
tomorrow.
film. No, you're not.
Why not?
He won't do it.
Hell
Where are
yeah,
you gonna
well.
go?
Spring Lake. I'll go right in front of that park.
We should do it on July.
I'm like, ah!
We should do like a series in July. Go down to the area July 1st.
Which
go in
one?
the water.
Spring Lake or Beach Haven?
We're gonna go each day that it
I'm not
actually
gonna go
happened.
swimming in the creek though.
Why not?
How dirty that water is, probably.
People go there all the time. There's tons of videos on YouTube if you look it up, and you can see the creek.
Would you go in the creek? That's a no. That's a no.
I don't know.
You're not going in the creek.
After thinking about this, I don't know if anybody, if you're ever in the pool at night or you jump in like
Yes.
the deep end and then you're like, shit, is there something in the bottom when you can't see? Like that always freaked me out, even when we were in the lake. You know, when you jump in, and then you can't see the bottom. You have no clue
And then
what's
like
around
seaweed
you.
touches your leg and you freak out.
You have no clue what's around. And I always thought about just even thinking about this going in the pool at night. I'd just be like, what the hell's going on? I don't know. Just doing research, it just piqued my interest with this.
So, anyways, the second attack.
Ooh, second attack
in Spring Lake.
It was 45 miles away from the first one that happened. And another
45 miles north. Yep.
45 miles north. And another thing that I found fascinating about doing this research, and even though I watched tons of Shark Week, I never, I guess, really paid attention. But sharks always have to be constantly in movement or they die.
And they sleep then?
They don't sleep.
They never sleep.
If they sleep, they're dead.
Imagine that.
They just always have to be in movement. Maybe I'm wrong. I'm sorry. Maybe they do sleep, but they still have to like move. They're still moving in some way.
Yeah, the ghost. Can you fact check that?
I'm looking it up right now.
But I was
no
reading
way.
They always have to move.
That's bullshit.
What
There's
do you
no
mean
way.
that's bullshit.
Okay, so first hit. I don't know if
Let's
validity.
talk into the mic. Talking to your mic.
Yeah, why are you bossing him around?
Yeah, give me a break here, right?
Yeah,
want me to
he's
yell
new to
out?
this podcast.
All right, can you guys hear me?
Oh, we could hear you.
Okay, so first hit, it says that while some species of sharks do need to swim constantly, this is not true for all sharks.
Okay.
Boom. Debunked.
Some sharks, such as the nurse shark, have spiracles that force water across their gills, allowing for stationary rest. So,
Fuck
but
does that mean?
I think Matt's probably, I think it's the exception, the nurse shark.
So basically, they always have to be moving.
It looks like the reason they have to do that is so the water goes into their gills.
That's fucking nuts.
Shark species that need to swim constantly to keep water moving over their gills seem to have active periods and restful periods rather than undergoing deep sleep like we do.
Okay, so like restful periods. They don't like.
Well, from a shark, from the standpoint of just them even feeding, right?
Yeah.
The more I read into this, because I was very curious, as you know I am, they're not fast, even though it seems like they are.
Yeah.
But when they need to be fast, like, all right, they have a prey, and they're going to be, like, ferocious, and they're just going to go after you.
That's a big word right there.
It is.
Ferocious.
And it's one of those things where I didn't even know until reading and getting more into this topic. And I just thought it was fascinating. And then it all happened right here.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's cool because there's so many different conspiracies, weird stories and topics that have to do with New Jersey. And this is just one of them. And that's why I don't know why we didn't learn about this more, like, growing up. Like just hearing even like mom and dad talk about stuff like this. Like, oh, like there was this old attack that happened right here. I don't know, maybe they didn't want to scare us, but I think that's
all right. So you're
cool.
like a 5-year-old kid. Let's go to the water, and dad's like, "Hey, a shark just killed some guy right here." Did you go in the water?
No, but I could see dad saying something like that, right? Can't you see him saying something like that when we were little?
Yeah, I can.
So I don't know.
So the guy that was killed
The second attack.
was a bell captain. What the hell does that mean? Was that like a bellhop?
Come on, dude.
I'm just saying it was a Swiss bell captain.
Do we have to Google everything now?
I'm just saying, what the hell is that?
I'm sure he was on like some type of boat, and then
He was just the bell guy.
Yeah, I'm sure it's more than that. Like, why do you call a bellhop a bellhop?
I don't know, but I was apparently in my before life.
That is creepy. That's a creepy story.
But he was 130 yards out.
So further than the first guy.
That's pretty damn far, man.
Yeah.
Have you ever tried to swim 130 yards out? You're definitely probably the furthest one out there.
No, because I probably wouldn't do it just for the fear that, yes, something might get me and I couldn't get back to the shore fast enough.
Yo, all right, let's say you were 130 yards out, just like Charles, what's his name? Charles Burnder. Okay, 130 yards out. Let's say just like a regular fish just came and grazed your leg. How fast would you swim?
I'd probably swim pretty fast. But if I was that far out or I was planning to go that far out, I would have somebody out there with like some type of boat where I could just jump up.
So I'm going to swim out. Let's get a boat. You ever see a Couples Retreat?
No.
You ever see that movie? With
No.
Vince Vaughn?
No.
Like they're on like a vacation.
Yeah.
Him and the other guy like are in like the water, like scuba dive or snorkeling, and like like the little like target sharks come around. Somebody throws like chum in the water, and it just like grazed his leg, and he freaks out.
What was he like? I got bit. I got
Yeah,
bit.
he goes, "I'm an elite survivor." Okay, you don't know.
I never saw that, but yeah.
130 yards out, this guy was.
So yeah, he was 27 years old, and he was staying at the Essex and Sussex Hotel in New Jersey.
And this attack happened on July 6th, so 5 days later.
5 days later, man.
So
This guy
basically,
was
he swam 10 miles per day. The shark.
If you want to calculate, or he could have swam 20 the one day, and who knows?
And he just coasted.
Well, here's my thing too that not a lot of people brought up. I don't know if you want to zoom in on the books. There's tons of books that were written on this subject. 12 Days of Terror, Open Waters. I even talked to an author that was in Mattawan, and we should link up his book in the show notes because he even wrote a book on the whole Mattawan incident. And it's kind of cool because in Mattawan now, they actually 2 years ago, they did put up a memorial or some type of thing, which they never had before. And I never even knew.
Well, it's kind of hidden, right? It's
at the park, and it's a World War I memorial, like for soldiers. But yeah, in the back now, they have a monument dedicated to really the victims and the hero that they consider that, which we're going to get more into. But this event,
guy,
the second attack.
The second event that happened on July 6th with Charles, he was bit in the leg and the abdomen. And
this was crazy because a woman on shore
saw it
and reported saying, like, there's a boat that overturned, like a red boat that capsized out in the water. Correct. Somebody better go out there.
Yeah, so like the two lifeguards swam out.
Why are you doing that?
Just imagine like you swimming out and you're like, why would you swim out there? There was a shark there. It was biting somebody. You're going to swim out there?
Well, they don't know what happened.
I would take the boat.
Well, that's what the first people did,
Start rowing out there
on July 1st attack. But this attack, if you just had a woman that was screaming like, "Oh, somebody's drowning," or "Hey, a boat capsized," you're not thinking like shark right away.
Well, they did actually. This one, they did row the boat
for the second one.
Yes,
they did. And
but I'm just saying, like, I wouldn't jump in there and swim out there.
You're a lifeguard. You're not even thinking about stuff. How many times have something happened where you don't even think about? You're not thinking about all the dangers. That
I see blood in the water. You lifeguard, you could probably see that. You got your binoculars out.
How far out are you? And this woman saw something, and she just said a boat capsized. So you don't know.
So they rowed out to him.
And it's still like this. I don't know, like what you were saying before. I don't know how fast news travels. How fast does news travel today? In a second, right? If there was a shark attack right now in LBI Beach Haven, these people,
Twitter would be all over that shit.
Yeah, we would know exactly what happened.
Live in it. So the two lifeguards, they rowed out to him.
Yeah.
And
Spring Lake.
When they got close to him, they realized that he was actually in fact bitten by the shark or a shark. They pulled him into the boat. He was still alive at this point, but he died on the way to shore.
Yeah, loss of blood.
Yeah. Well, when you freaking your abs and your legs get just annihilated by the shark.
Yeah, and this event, according to the New York Times, like we said, the woman panic-stricken, fainted when they brought his body onto shore. Like the same woman that's out there.
Well, how would you deal with that? You see some guys just legs just like mangled off.
Yeah, people were panicked, and then you just saw this mangled body come up. That's what it said in the paper in the New York Times, just this mangled body of Charles Bruder, 27 years old. Just, I don't know. I've never seen anything like that.
After that, they put up like nets.
Yeah, it's almost like steel nets.
Yeah, steel nets for like the swimming.
And then also,
just imagine like the panic that would go on.
Well, now this was actually the first recorded, if you want to say, on a death certificate of a shark.
Yeah.
This is where they actually said, all right, this person was killed by the shark. The Charles Van Zandt was not, even though he was the first victim that we know today. But, in the beginning, people thought it was a sea turtle. People thought it was fish. People even thought, like, we're blaming, like, German U-boats, things like that, like bombs going off.
You gotta be shitting me.
This is what they believed. Like,
World
War I was going on.
Saying.
You don't know. There's not enough information. You're only getting information, right, from other people. You're getting information from the radio. Mm-hmm. You're getting information from newspapers that come out a couple days.
Well, here's my problem with the last attacks, right?
we're skipping ahead now, bro.
Well, no. I'm just saying, like, after this happens, right?
After this happens,
Okay. And you go to, like, the third and fourth victim,
right?
as you say, in the creek. Before that happens,
Right.
the captain that was coming home, basically, he was walking home or walking back to Mattawan over the drawbridge, trolley bridge, whatever you want to call it, that they just built, he said.
And he saw something.
And he saw something swim into the creek.
All right, but how many times does something have to happen, even in today's society, for people to react, right?
I know, but are people fucking stupid? Like,
People are still stupid today. Like, think about it.
I get that, but like,
All right.
you know what's going on. You're like live by a shore town.
Okay, well, to give people a perspective on this, right? Because the first attacks happened in Beach Haven, LBI, New Jersey, right? That whole area. Then, what do we say, 45 miles north of that
in Spring Lake.
in Spring Lake, the second attack happened. Now, when we're looking, right, Spring Lake right here, looking at the area, and then 45 miles, right, 45 or 30 miles north
Yeah, Spring Lake.
of Spring Lake, around into the bay, because technically this is the Sandy Hook Bay, Lower Bay, New York area.
Yep.
This is where you could actually see the city. If anybody knows Sandy Hook, you could see it like juts out from, and it's really where the shore starts in New Jersey.
Correct.
People say. So this is more of a bay, and this is where we used to put Dad's boat in all the time.
Yeah, we used to go to swimming too.
Yeah, we used to swim a lot over there. So imagine
Ideal Beach.
swimming over here, right, into the bay. Because when stuff gets caught in the bay too, granted it's a big opening, but when stuff get caught in this bay, most people and scientists, it's shallow.
Sure.
Thinking about it's not like the ocean.
Well, yeah, it's
where
not.
They could swim, like
hundreds
far out.
and thousands of feet. Yeah, it's a
And
bay.
this is where this story really takes a turn to me.
Why?
Well, because think about it, like when we're talking about Spring Lake or we're talking about Beach Haven, you can see a shark attack happening.
Why? Because it's the open ocean, basically.
It's the open ocean. You're right on the shore.
Yeah, you're looking out to the
This
flat Earth.
one is in the Bay Area, and it's further in. And when you even get a closer view of this, right?
Yeah.
So we'll go in, and I would just anybody search Mattawan, New Jersey, like Cliffwood Beach area.
It's right. Technically, it's by Keyport, like the opening.
Well, the opening, yeah, to this river. I mean, they call it a creek, but back then I'm sure it was a lot more flowing than it is today.
Sure.
We do have a picture of it, and you could see. I'm going to link this video in the show notes as well.
Yeah.
The Mattawan shark attacks in 1916, but they all have that same title.
Well, yeah. Now it's like a tidal basin, or
Yeah, but you could see, like, I love this picture because you could actually see, and it's from Jersey Bayshore Country TV, but you could see, like, the bay, and then you could see where it comes into the Mattawan Creek area.
Correct.
And I just think, I don't know, like thinking of a shark, right? That's swimming. We know it has to constantly move, but now swimming into this creek area, and it's shallow.
Yeah, I wonder why I picked that.
Yeah, I wonder how it got like to this area. And there's so many old photographs people could see, because this is where like the panic stricken really happened. And the Garden State Parkway goes over this creek now.
Yeah.
We don't even think about it, right?
35 goes.
How
over
many
too.
times have you driven over this area and never even gave this an extra thought? Now, I guarantee you're going to think about it differently.
Why? Well, when we started talking about this podcast, I was looking.
Yeah, were you looking like both ways as you passed?
Yeah,
and
but
were like,
it's right now though. It's so shallow. When
and it's
the
just
tide
marshy.
goes, yeah, when the tide goes out, it can't be more than like 2 or 3 feet.
But what we were saying, like a shark only needs really like what?
Yeah, but I'm sure back then it was a lot deeper.
Oh, it was. And you could see just from the picture, from this video. That's why I love this video. I think it was, the first half is great. The second half, not so much. It's more about just like marine mammals and life.
So getting back to my point though, so the captain sees, you'd expect like people
right
to
before
believe,
the third attack happened.
Yeah, you'd expect the people to believe like a sea captain, right?
You would, but then I don't know. You have to get in people's mindset.
I don't know, because I picture the guy from Jaws, right?
Well,
that captain from Jaws,
yeah.
like saying like, "Hey, like I just saw a shark swim up the creek,"
Maybe
and people are like, "Yeah, whatever." They don't really believe him.
Maybe it was a type of guy that, lied all the time. Who knows?
I know, but I'm just saying. So,
And then you also have to think about the time, right? It, like we were saying, this happened inland pretty much, it seems like. Because
yeah, but it's 6 days after the second attack, and 11 days.
So
After
maybe
the
they thought it
first.
was over, and they were like, you know what?
No, but after the second attack, though, they knew they had a problem.
Well, yeah, the businesses on the Jersey Shore started to lose a lot of money because people were panicked. People weren't showing up, and this was a big tourist spot. It still is today, right?
I think about like the movie line Jaws, where the mayor's like, you yell barracuda, and everyone looks, but you yell shark.
And what?
I forget like the rest.
Come
of the,
on,
I
dude.
forget the rest of the line.
You leave everybody hanging with
I
that?
forget the rest of the line.
Well, I want to mention Jaws, too.
Is it Everyone Runs?
Everyone runs.
It wasn't.
We'll have to look it up, but maybe the ghost could look that up, or you look it up. But let's get back to this third and fourth attack that happened.
Okay.
Right? So, like we were saying, this happened on a Wednesday, July 12th, 30 miles north from where the second attack happened in the Matawan Creek area. And,
Okay, here we go.
All right, what's the quote?
It says, you yell barracuda, and people say, huh? You yell shark, and we've got a panic on our hands on July 4th.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of correlations between this attack, and this is what people say inspired, the movie Jaws, and like that whole creepy soundtrack. But I want to mention more of that too, because how's it go? So let's get back to this where this happened.
Yeah, read
in
off
the
the
Matawan
show
Creek.
notes.
Well, hey man, we gotta give good information here. That's what it's all about.
Yeah, that guy freaked out on you.
What do you mean?
He sent a nasty email.
Well, you start talking about quotes from movies, and you're like,
Burn
what is that? I don't remember anything. I'm Greg Douglas.
Why would you use the full name? Now
Why not?
people know.
People know who you are.
Now people know. What if I yelled out this guy's name?
You tell people your stuff all the
Look at
time. You tell people stuff all the time. So, all right, let's get back to this. So
All
then
right.
we could start talking about some theories.
All right, go
Because
ahead.
I want to talk about
All right, the third and fourth attack, Matawan Creek. 11-year-old factory worker, which still boggles my mind if you think about it.
Why?
Because he's 11 years old working in a factory.
When did you start working?
Yeah, but it was different, though. I
How
didn't
is it
work in a
different?
factory.
How is it different?
It was
What's
a part-time job. I
what
was
time-
caddying.
Yeah. When did you start working? At what age?
13, 14.
Yeah. We all we're young. What do you think?
11 years old, though?
Yeah, man. What do you think 1916 was? That was over 100 years ago.
I think of the movie Newsies when I think of that. Remember that?
I guess so,
With
man.
the little kids delivering papers?
And just dancing and
Yeah,
singing.
yeah.
That's what you picture of this time period.
Yeah, yes.
Happy-go-lucky, shark attacks going on,
Yeah,
and now this stuff.
because they dressed like that back in that day.
Yeah, it's a lot more proper. Even if you saw the bathing suits that they wore.
Yeah, or even
men
like
were
if you went
wearing
to-
those one pieces.
Yeah, the baseball game, they would wear a suit and tie.
We should bring that back. Would you go to a baseball game in a suit and tie and like a top hat, overcoat?
What month?
You don't have to do it in like the middle of summer.
Like, I would not do it in the middle of summer.
Like right now, it's still cool enough to do.
Sure, why not?
All right, that'd be really. People would look at you like, "What the fuck?" You're at a ball game, bro. Yeah, and that's what we're saying. Things have changed since 100 years.
Yeah.
That's what happens. Things change, the way we dress, the way we act, the way we get our media, the way we think about like shark attacks, stuff like that. So there's a group of friends in the Matawan Creek, and they saw something.
Yeah,
right?
like 2 o'clock, afternoon.
Yeah,
early
it was
afternoon.
Afternoon time, they saw something floating, and they thought it was a piece of wood floating. And if you ever been over into the creek, I'd recommend going to YouTube and just typing in some of it, like Matawan Creek, and you can get some good videos of the creek, like people fishing back there, and you can get a good sense of what it did look like, because there's still part of like the old railroad tracks that were there.
Yeah.
I mean, now they're further up, in the hill, but then you could see some of the old docks and things like that. So it just gives you good representation. So there's a group of friends swimming,
Yep, an 11-year-old boy, Lester Stillwell.
and then all of a sudden he was like
And
the,
he was
the
prone,
odd man out
but he was prone though
to seizures.
To seizures. So at first, the people, when it was first reported, they thought he was having a seizure because like he started getting attacked.
Right. The
The
boys saw like a piece of wood floating, and it ended up being a shark. And then
Correct.
Lester Stillwell got attacked. The boys, got out, ran to town,
Correct, and were yelling.
were yelling, shark attack, blah, blah.
Yep.
And then the town folks sprung into action. And this is where it was cool talking to the Matawan Historical Society about this.
Mm-hmm.
and just some of the information that they give. And we're going to link up the book that, goes with Matawan, because Matawan still has rich history there. You could still see Lester Stillwell's house that still exists. A bunch of the stuff that was from 1916 is still in that town. And then you can go to the memorial, which we'll have to film there, man. We have to get out there.
So the guys the 2 kids ran into the town. And at first, like I said, the people thought that he was just having a seizure. So two guys jumped in.
Yeah, one of them was Stanley Fisher.
Yep.
He was 24 years old. He was, like an athletic guy. People in the town loved him.
Like the ghost.
Everybody loves him. He's just the guy that's there to help. And a thing that I thought was cool, we see this nowadays in certain situations, right? Like in 9/11, people spring into action, where you don't even think about like your own safety. Now, back then it was like, from what was explained to me at the Historical Society, that these people, it was like their duty, and they wanted to get this guy, because they knew by the time that they got down to the Wyckoff, dock, that this happened in Matawan Creek, that this kid was dead.
All right, yeah, but like he still tried to pull the boy out.
He did.
And then he in turn got attacked himself.
He did.
Losing little Stillwell in the process.
Yeah, I mean, the shark's feeding, right? Now, people believe, too, like the sharks would come and bite you,
but he didn't
and let you bleed out.
But he didn't get killed instantly, though.
Who?
The guy,
Stanley Fisher, no. He didn't die.
He didn't die right away. Because he got to shore. They actually took him to Monmouth Medical in Long Branch. So that's a pretty far ride. What, 30 minutes, you would say?
That's a cool, like, the whole story of Stanley Fisher, because that's what the book, by the Matawan Historical Society, and the guy Al who actually wrote the book.
Mm-hmm.
And there's some cool pictures of this whole time, because people came out to like see, because they revered him as like a hero for going in and retrieving the body, or trying to retrieve the body, and like risking his own life. And there was tons of people that came out to the train station to see him off, before he went. And that train station still exists there today, which I think it's cool. And then Monmouth Medical, man, I was born there.
Yeah, that's pretty far away, though.
Yeah, from going from Matawan, New Jersey, down to Long Branch. And I don't know exactly how many miles it is, but you could see.
Yeah, it's probably like a 30-minute ride.
I don't know where the train went directly, but you have the red dot here in Matawan, and then right over here in Long Branch. So, yeah, I don't know, man.
So he died roughly 3.5 hours later.
From the wounds.
Yeah,
just
from
bleeding
bleeding.
out. And do you remember what his last statements was?
No.
Which I thought was cool, and like a lot of people believe that, he is a hero for this, because he just wanted to make sure that they have his body. And that was one of like the last things he said, did we have Lester Stillwell's body? I'm like, I don't know, just to think about that and like not even think about your own safety.
Yeah.
During this case.
Well, the little Lester, his body was discovered 2 days later.
Yeah, 150 feet away and upstream, from the Wyckoff dock that it happened.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's just crazy that this happened where it did in Matawan Creek, that whole area. And so right there, 2 people, not just one, just 2 people died in that third attack on that day.
Correct. And then 30 minutes later.
30 minutes later, the 5th attack.
Yep, 5th and final attack.
Happened. Joseph Dunn of New York City. Mm-hmm. And he was attacked half a mile away from that dock.
Half a mile.
Half a mile, that's it.
Yeah, but like, don't you hear shit going on?
I mean, he was swimming, having a good time. It's a heat wave. It's
the
hottest summer.
A swim cap?
Probably not, but he probably has that one piece on. I want to bring those back, man.
I would love to see that.
Just in that one piece?
Yep.
I'll do it. I think that's great, man. It's different, but whatever. And this shark bit his left leg, but Dunn this is a cool story, too.
Well, yeah, he survived.
Yeah, because
he didn't die.
People and people in boats, friends, they all started beating the crap out of the shark.
Yep.
With oars and everything, and they finally freed Dunn and rescued him after they like almost picture a tug of war. Imagine I was getting bit, and like everybody, the ghost, you were beating the crap out of the shark with oars and like tugging,
Yeah.
like between the shark and like people
That's gotta hurt, man.
of the body. I couldn't imagine that scene either, man.
And
The
like
fifth attack.
his left leg was gone.
Yeah, but
He survived though.
yeah, he went to New Brunswick,
Mhm.
and he ended up surviving. He recovered, and he was released on September 15th, so months later, July. So imagine just being in the hospital for like a month and a half.
Well, yeah, man. What are you gonna do? You gotta heal up.
I know. So that was the last attack that actually happened on the 12th of July. Or yeah, right? It was all the 12th on July that day. Or July?
Yeah, and then like it's kind of funny because doing the research, like I almost equate this to like Jaws the movie, because then the Madawan people like banded together, like offered up rewards to find out or kill this shark.
Yeah,
And
people
they
were throwing dynamite
Yeah,
into the
they were
water,
throwing dynamite into
shooting
the
into the
creek.
water. Yeah, all this stuff. Well, that's why there's a good correlation between this and the actual movie Jaws, which
And then 2 days later, after the final attacks, they think they captured the shark,
yeah,
which some say they did, some say they didn't.
this guy was from New York City, Harlem, taxidermist, right? Am I saying that right? What was his name? Michael Schlesinger? Yeah, he captured a 7.5 foot shark, 325 pounds, while fishing in the Raritan Bay. And that's like the same
Yeah, it's the same
bay that we're
same
in,
bay, yeah.
right? Just imagine a shark just hanging around in the bay for that long. And you have to think about it. Like, we swim in this water, even if you're at like Sandy Hook, you're swimming in this when we go to the beach. So imagine just like a shark just that killed all these people
Well, yeah, and they cut open the shark. The scientists
that this guy captured.
Yeah, it was a young great white shark.
It's a female shark, and they found human remains in
the
it.
stomach.
That's but they claim that the human remains were much older
Correct.
than the human remains that just, obviously if it just eaten Lester Stillwell in the Matawan Creek, you would think you would see, something that hasn't been digested fairly long or something that was a little smaller.
That's why people think that wasn't the shark.
Which this brings us into the theories and all this stuff, right? Because after this shark was supposedly captured, right, where they killed it and they had it on display, it was brought to New York. It was put on display in New York at this guy's office, but then he lost it. From the reports that I was reading, how do you lose that shark? That's like a pride thing. You say you caught the shark that
Maybe
actually
somebody
killed.
stole it. You don't know.
That's true. Maybe somebody did, but I don't know. How does that happen? How do you lose a 7.5 foot shark, 325-pound shark that just it went missing?
Hey, man.
Was it just travel around the world and you say, well, I misplaced it?
Yeah, you can.
That's stupid.
Well, here's my thing though. Like with all these theories that you can get into, is let's say that wasn't the shark or it was the shark. Because different people say different things. But after that shark was caught, there was no more deaths or shark attacks.
No, there wasn't.
On the Jersey Shore. So I think that puts it to bed,
You think so?
Yeah, why not?
I don't know. Maybe
Just because there wasn't the human remains, you don't know. Maybe spit it up.
it's true, but I don't know, because right now, after this all happened, there's a lot of theories, and scientists, ended up saying, "Oh, we're sorry, we were wrong. Like, sharks can kill humans.
Shit.
They can attack humans. They can bite through bones. We made a mistake." But
How do you not know they can bite through bones? Are you stupid?
why do you keep saying they're stupid? They don't know.
Other animals, they can bite through bone. A
Yeah, but
dog can bite through your bone.
You're not seeing like this on a daily basis,
I know,
right?
but I'm just
how many
saying.
attacks before this actually happened that we know?
I know,
of?
because it changed America and changed
The way we think. Now we have Shark Week thanks to stuff like this.
Discovery Channel has Shark Week because of this.
Yeah.
I wonder if they ever did they didn't do anything on this, did they?
Who, the Discovery Channel?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, but they should I don't know.
What? You want more?
Yeah, I feel like there should be more.
There's tons of videos.
No, I know
The
there's tons of.
Smithsonian did it.
I know Netflix documentary. Did you watch that?
Which one?
The Netflix
No.
one on this?
No. What is it? What is it called?
Let me pull it up.
Was it like the kids thing? I survived the 1916 shark attacks?
No.
I didn't see this on Netflix. I mean, there's tons of stuff. Like we talked about, like the books. There's the 12 Days of Terror. Open Waters is another good book. But they both theorized it was a great white shark. And, some people theorized, yes, the shark that was captured on July 14th was the shark that was terrorizing, this time period. But a lot of people also think it was a bull shark because if you look in Matawan Creek area, right, the creek is inlet. It's going to have less salt water. It's shallower, than the actual ocean that it was attacking in. So it could have been a bull shark, right?
It could have been, yeah.
So why do we fear the great white more than anything else? Because we just think it's like big, powerful, like this, just, man killer kind of shark. And, like the bull shark, it can survive in fresh water, where the creek supposedly would have had less salt water in it. So is it possible? I don't know. It could be. But see, this is where it gets me. And this is where like the whole theory on this stuff really intrigues me, is because this whole attack, like in my head thinking about this, I don't know. Was it just one shark? Was it a couple sharks?
The Netflix documentary or movie, whatever you want to say, was 12 Days of Horror.
So it's kind of like the book, The 12 Days of Terror.
Correct.
But it's 12. No, I'll have to look. But it's probably stupid.
Yeah, one of the reviews, the guy was like, the acting was like.
So it's not a documentary.
No,
it's a film.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like the real stuff, man. I like to get in the nit and gritty stuff of just something that, gives me that history instead of just saying like, I mean, don't get me wrong. I love horror movie. You can see all over the studio. It's horror movie stuff, but like this stuff, I want to know what happened.
So you don't think it was the one that was killed and captured?
I don't like after doing.
Or do you think there was multiple sharks?
See, that's the thing. Like, could it have been? But we know like sharks just keep swimming, right? So it's possible that it's just one.
Possible
that it was just one rogue angry sharks.
Like reading up about sharks, they're very territorial.
They are. So it could have been, right?
So it could have been only one shark.
So do you think it was this great white, or do you think it could have been like a bull shark, like people suspected? Because in scientific theories, they said like the two main things are either it was a great white or the bull shark.
Well, I mean, I think it would be pretty easy to prove.
But a lot of other people were saying, it could have been a killer whale. It could have been
fucking killer whale.
But people did see like the shark. So
yeah. So like, couldn't they match up like the jaw with the bite marks? Or maybe they didn't have that like technology or wherewithal to do that back then.
No, like you said, people are idiots, but like they just didn't know.
Because that would be
back
pretty
then.
easy to prove.
I mean, nowadays, yes.
Yeah.
I'm sure they could have just done that real quick and said like, all right, I'm sure they would have captured it even sooner than they did with this one. But that's what's cool about
send
this
Martin
one.
Brody out there,
well,
on that boat.
Well, speaking of like Jaws, right? The novel that was written
in 1974,
right, by Peter Benchley. Is that how you say his name? I
Benchley. Yeah,
I always screw up people's names, but he published a novel called Jaws, right, about a rogue great white shark,
correct,
that terrorized this fictional city.
Yeah, or island,
which
Amity Island.
Yeah, the movie takes place exactly what the book is written.
Correct.
And I saw reports where this guy said he didn't get his inspiration from the actual, 1916 attacks.
No, he got his inspiration from like reading about great whites or like seeing great white attack.
But if you look at the movie, right,
it's very, very similar.
It's like
because like it was before July 4th,
right?
Okay, the first attack.
Yeah.
The movie, you look at the girl swimming, or the girl and the guy. No, the girl swimming, and then the guy reports it. They don't really know what it is, and then the little kid was killed, right?
Yeah, I mean everything in the movie it seems to play out as these 1916 attacks, and Steven Spielberg makes reference to the events in 1916, where I guess what was his name, Sheriff Brody?
Yeah,
and
Martin Brody. Well, wasn't he was from New York?
Who, Brody?
Yeah, Brody.
Yeah, and then also what was his name, Hooper?
Yep.
Urges the Amityville, or I keep saying Amityville just because of
Amityville Horror.
Yeah.
Amity's
mayor Vaughn to close beaches on the 4th of July after the deaths of 2 swimmers and a fisherman.
Yep.
Hooper explains to the mayor, look, the situation is apparently a great white shark has staked claims to the water of this island, and he's going to continue to feed in these waters. And there's no limit to what he can do. I mean, we already had 3 dead bodies, 2 people killed inside of a week, and it's going to happen again. And it has happened before. The Jersey Beach, 1916. 5 people chewed up. And it references it in the movies, which I thought was kind of cool. So he does reference the attacks. Steven Spielberg does.
I don't know. I think it was like the guy definitely had to get some inspiration from the 1916 attacks.
Yeah,
because even if you look at like the ending of the second one, right, where the shark swims up the creek or into the channel,
yeah,
to attack the little kids.
I'm sure they did. I'm sure after making the movie and they started doing more research on this, like even like we did, because I didn't know, because most of the stuff I learned growing up, I just thought it happened in a creek. And when people said creek, I always thought it's just like something that we used to play in, like in the park, that kind of creek.
Correct.
And I was like, how the hell can a shark get into this?
Yeah, but it was the Matawan River.
Yeah, and I'm always thinking like, where is this? All I heard was Matawan Creek. Yeah. And I never like put 2 and 2 together. Never thought about going exploring.
Are you freaked out about, like, imagine it was the Navesink River?
Oh, dude, there's so many jellyfish in there. I hate that. But yeah, if it happened there too. But to get into the river itself, that's even like crazier to think about.
Yeah.
Because now you have to swim like really deep into the Sandy Hook Bay, and then you're in even almost like smaller waters, and there seems to be so much traffic in there.
I'm just saying.
Well, that's another thing. Like, imagine coming out in all these boats in the Matawan Creek area, Keyport area, where this, 3rd, 4th, 5th attack happened.
Sure.
And just the traffic that goes in and out of there, and I think like a shark just said, fuck it, I'm going to go in here.
Yeah, but back then it probably wasn't that much.
I think there might have been more just for the, the community that it's in.
Maybe.
This is what they're doing on a daily basis. Not like something, like, all right, there's only a few boats going in and out of there a day. But yeah, and there's a lot of different theories too. Even like the books mention it, like Open Waters, it talks about just the history of America that's going on, the attacks. And then both of the books really just say they thought it was a great white shark. And it seems like that they come to that conclusion, which they seem to do a lot more research than I did.
When was like the last shark attack in New Jersey?
In New Jersey? I don't know.
Wasn't it like 2015?
Really?
Yeah. Hold on, let me look it up.
I don't know if
I think the last shark attack, was pretty recent.
But just thinking about it, like, it can happen, but you don't think about it. And that's the thing. If people, like, I would just say, look up where Keyport Matawan really is. Look at a map. Just Google like what it looks like, because there is plenty of videos you could look up, and that's what really strikes me to this case file, is that this rogue shark, whatever you want to call it, even if it was a great white, to come into this bay area and then just start killing. And it's surprising that 3rd victim didn't get away. And I'm surprised that they didn't kill that shark with the amount of people that were like beating it. Why there's nobody that was there that had like some type of knife, like to just jump in and start stabbing it and be like, we actually caught the shark. So that always got me too. And this really onset, like we said, yes, it didn't really start Shark Week, but I mean, it made people more aware of sharks. Scientists started to change their tune about this. Local governments made efforts to like really, make the beaches safer, because they didn't want to lose that money, and all that stuff. But
this one says November 2013.
So
Bayhead.
So right around that first attack, sort of.
The guy was bodyboarding. He just got bit though. Wasn't
fatal.
Wasn't fatal. Like the last fatal one was in 1926 in Seaside, swimming. He died.
Really?
Yep. And then 1917 Seabright, Monmouth County.
I do remember hearing about that because we were so close.
And then like the first ever recorded one was in 1884, Bayonne.
So even
but
before
they didn't
this.
die though. Like the first fatal one in New Jersey was 1916.
Yeah. So they had no understanding about this, and that's what's cool. So you really think that's it? They captured this shark, and that was it.
Yes,
it's all over.
I think so. Because there would still be more attacks, or maybe it kept. Would it swim north or south? Like I don't know.
It could have swam. It could have swam out of the bay and back into maybe up further.
Yeah, you never know.
I mean, it's just one of those things that we don't know.
Mm-hmm.
And like just what we were saying before, with the amount of information that was given at the time,
Sure.
what people believed or didn't believe, it could have just been that one rogue shark, and then who knows, man.
Yeah.
I don't know. It freaked me out though, like really thinking about it.
I want to watch the movie Jaws now.
Really? Go to it.
Yeah.
They have them on Netflix, right?
Yeah.
Are they still on Netflix?
Like they do have like viewings that you can watch like in a lake or in a pool. Like would you ever watch, like let's say you could do this
If it was at night or during the day?
at night, let's say somebody
I'd do it.
in like the bay had up Jaws playing like on a boat, would you sit in the water and watch it?
Oh, the actual bay by our house?
Yep.
I don't know, man. That would be too...
Too real?
It would be. And you're right there. I don't know.
That would be kind of cool.
It would be cool,
I don't know if I would do it.
I don't know if I could do it. I mean, I could see doing it in like a pool, or what if we went up to the lake and just showed it on the lake? Would you do it then?
Yeah, because there's no sharks in the lake.
There's some crazy stuff in that lake, though.
Yeah, but there's no sharks.
I just remember that night that we had the pole.
We caught the eel?
Yeah, we forgot to take it in at night,
Yeah,
and we
yeah.
just left it, on the dock, and we come back, and there's this big eel. And I'm like, these things live in this? Just imagine that, like, swimming underneath you.
Yeah, but that's not going to kill you.
Yeah, but it's still one of those things that, like, creeps you out.
Yeah,
And it
it does.
creeps me out to just know that, like, if I jump in the pool at night, I think about that every time. I don't know why.
In our pool or above
Just
ground pool?
any pool.
Any pool.
Any pool that you jump in, like that, it's pitch black outside. There's not really that many lights on. The pool's not lit, so you can't see the bottom.
Yep.
I always just get that like initial fear or like that rush.
I think most people do, yeah.
Do you think most people do? Because I
Yeah.
always thought that was just like me, just being like kind of paranoid and
No,
just
I
like
think most people
playing
do.
tricks on myself.
Yeah, I think most people do.
So do you find this like, what's more compelling, like the Mattawan? Because that's where the whole story takes a turn for me, that this happened in this area.
I think it's just kind of cool that it happened like around us, because not too many like big time like things really happen like in New Jersey, especially like.
What are you talking about? A
You
lot
know,
of stuff.
No, but I'm saying like this type of stuff, like a shark attack. Like you never really hear about that.
Well, not anymore. It doesn't seem like,
Yeah.
But there is sharks. What was it? 2012.
Mm-hmm.
That I was actually in Long Branch, and they caught. I think it was a sand shark.
Oh yeah,
I forget that.
one. The
It
little
was
one?
it was small,
Yeah.
but I remember everybody was like crazy. Everybody was screaming. Everybody's like shark.
I remember.
Shark, and I'm like, what? And
I
like,
remember being there. What, like a couple days beforehand,
were you?
or a couple days after? And I remember the guy I was with. We were just hanging out in the water, and like a lot of people were around us. I'm like, "Yo, did you hear the shark report today? Pretty bad out here."
That's fucked up.
And like people would like look at us, be like, "Oh, you didn't know somebody got bit yesterday?"
That's fucked up, dude.
Wow, I think that's awesome.
Well, yeah, this was just some guy fishing off Long Branch.
Just don't be the farthest one out. That's all I gotta say.
Well, it's crazy. People were in the water, and this guy's just fishing right around them, and he caught this sand shark. I think it was a sand shark.
Yeah, but it was tiny though. It was like 2-3 feet.
It
long.
was, but it could still bite you. Imagine it just came up and bit your calf off.
Yeah, well, that could definitely happen. You're fucked.
Yeah, and I remember just people like, I remember when I got up to the beach, because I was working there at the time, and like people were slamming it on the ground.
Nah, see, that's fucked up, man.
And I was like, yeah, we got to get away from it. I actually took it out into like back up to like, the maintenance area. And then I had some of the lifeguards just like take it further up the beach to like let it go back into the water.
Did it
Hopefully it
die?
survived. I don't know.
You can't like slap it. I would slap that fucking guy around. Fuck that guy.
Yeah, I was yelling at him. I was like, what are you doing? People were yelling like a shark. And I really thought it was like, when you hear that word, you do think of like the great whites.
You think of Jaws.
You think of Jaws. And then you get up there and it's, all right, it's this little baby shark.
Little baby.
Do you remember when we were younger, Dad going out in the boat and catching sharks?
Yeah.
Were you there?
Yeah.
Because I think my memory's like screwed up with this like event. Because I do remember, I don't think I was there on that trip.
Why?
But I remember because he was in the bay, right? So we're talking about like where these attacks happen in Mattawan Bay. And like our dad used to put a boat right here in the bay, and we used to just fish, go, I wouldn't say close to New York,
No,
but we go
we
pretty
were-
far. And
yeah.
I remember Dad saying like they caught like little baby sharks.
Yeah,
off
I was
of,
there for a couple of them. Yeah,
Really?
same like the ones you saw in Long Branch.
So they weren't like
2-3 feet. They
See,
weren't anything.
when I was
huge.
younger too, and that's I think where my memory kind of fucks with me.
They were big.
Well, like you said, I always thought like, all right, this is Jaws. You know, this is like
Well, remember the Nintendo game Jaws?
yes,
That was awesome.
where it bites the boat and all that
Yes.
stuff. You had a spirit with the boat.
Yeah.
And that's true too. And there was a lot of things too where they talked about where the guys who ended up capturing the shark,
Mhm.
right, on July 14th, where they actually killed him. The shark did like, you know, jump into the boat.
Mm-hmm.
And there's reports, you know, where people say in like Jaws, that's unbelievable at the end where it starts biting the boat
Yeah.
and like trying to get it. But no, that's actually from doing more reading into it. That's really true. It did happen. Like that's another thing where you can look at the comparison between the 1916 attacks and Jaws and really say like there's so much. And I guess after doing this, we should watch Jaws
Yeah.
just for the simple fact that like there's so much little detail that I probably will now look at it differently
Mm-hmm.
that happened in the movie.
Because
That happened
they
in
started throwing sticks of dynamite in the water. Remember that the guys?
I haven't seen the movie in a while, and I mean I remember watching. Which one was didn't it get into like a pool? Or
No, that was the third one. That was
wa-
in Florida.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
See,
that was the third
it
one.
swam all the way down there, man. Not just like 30, 40 miles a day, you know, off to its next victim. It actually swam to fucking Florida. Yeah, that's crazy. It went from Massachusetts to Florida. Even our favorite We're New Jersey posted something about this.
Yeah. I read their article.
Did you?
Yep.
I actually didn't. Maybe I did a long time ago, but I don't remember. That's a nice picture of the creek. You know, jump in the creek. Yeah, I don't know if I would after seeing the bodies. And they have a picture, a rendering of Lester Stillwell
Yeah,
and,
Lester's got
and Joseph Dunn. But look at that body. Like, that whole thing was really mangled.
Yep.
Like, you look at it. Like, it wasn't just like Joseph Dunn's leg. Like, his whole left side of Lester Stillwell.
Yeah, he fucked up. He got fucked
There's a video. I don't know if you believe it. I'm not gonna play it because
What?
whatever. I sent it to you. Where
Oh
the,
yeah.
where the paranormal guy, went to the cemetery, the Rose Cemetery, where Lester
Yes.
Stillwell and Stanley Fisher are buried.
Yeah.
You could take tours of that too, as well. Would you want to do that?
Do a tour of that?
Well, I was talking to the guy at the Historical Society in Mattawan,
Mm-hmm.
and he'll show us the house where Lester Stillwell lived. You know, Stanley Fisher. You know, the memorial. Talk about it. Go down like by the creek area. Go up to the
I think that would be pretty cool to do and
the
film.
cemetery. I think we should do a video on that. I think we should do it closer to. I mean, I know we say a lot of this stuff, but you know, I don't know. I think we should do it.
So final thoughts. What do you think? You think they caught it or no?
I don't know if they did.
Okay.
I don't know. There's not too much information. And yes, they caught a shark. That doesn't mean anything. And do I believe it was just one shark? I couldn't tell you that either.
Yeah, that's true.
I
But
don't-
there was no more attacks. That's like the only thing I'm going on.
there's no more attacks after they caught the shark
Correct.
and they put him up. I want to know where that shark is. Do you think it's still out there?
Probably not.
I think Mysteries of the Museum did a show on this as well. I don't know if we could find that. Mysteries of the Museum.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe they can shed a little bit more light. I would like to know where that, because that has to still exist today, right? You wouldn't just throw that out.
Why not?
I don't know. You wouldn't throw it out, would you?
You would keep it up in here?
Dude, that'd be a great thing to put in the studio.
Little Jaws right up here?
Yeah, why not? Well, dude, it's 7 feet,
Yeah, well,
5 inches.
We won't have to put the whole thing up.
You just want to put the jaws?
Yeah.
Just cut it open, say forget it.
Or 7 feet will fit right there.
Yeah, we could. We could put it up there. So that's the 1916 Jaws.
Hopefully you enjoyed the podcast.
Yeah, so thanks for tuning in to this episode. If you want more information, we're going to link it up in the show notes. So just head over to wherever you're listening to this podcast, look in the show notes, or on YouTube as well. I'm going to link the books that we mentioned here, some of the cool videos that we found, anything like that. And if you ever have some information for us, you could always contact us. All of our contact information is at nightmare365.com, from our email, all that stuff, right, RG?
That's right.
And give us a review on iTunes, wherever you're listening to this show. I don't know, anything else you want to add, man? Watch us, follow us, subscribe to us on YouTube. I know we've been saying it a lot, but we're going to have more. Now we have a good intro going. we're gonna put out more videos, and we're gonna do more travel videos like this, right? I think
help us
we
out.
should.
Help us out.
Help us out. That's all. Just follow us, and all the information about the show, upcoming shows, things like that, can be found at Nightmare 365. You know, because I'm always posting exactly what time we're doing the show, when we're doing it live, and you can always listen to us and watch us at the same time live on our YouTube channel. And we got some good topics coming up. I got a whole good list, research papers like I had today, of topics that we could talk about. What do you want to talk about further? Because we did talk about 30 topics, 30 case files that we have talked about on the show.
Yep.
Do you see anything else that you want to talk about?
Yeah, you won't let me talk about it.
Like what?
Come on now.
You say it, we'll talk about it.
9/11.
You really want to talk about 9/11?
Yeah.
All right. When do you think we should talk about it? Obviously,
Probably closer to September.
no.
You don't think so?
Do you think that's like too much, maybe? Too much to the events? Like, we could have done this one on, closer to July when it actually happened.
Yeah, but I think this is a good kickoff this summer.
This was a good kickoff to summer. Now, we're going to definitely talk about 9/11 because there is questions I have too.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, my questions.
Maybe a Bigfoot?
Again?
No.
Yeah.
Bigfoot is definitely not real.
Bigfoot is definitely out there.
No way.
Yeah.
Nope.
Could be. There's a whole book that I read on Bigfoot in New Jersey, but that's just some of our thoughts. Visit us, nightmare365.com, for all our information from our YouTube, podcast, contact information, call the show, anything like that. And until next time, everybody,
Stay spooky.